What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from Off Color Brewing, and they are out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is their beer for hoops. So this is a cream ale with peach puree and vanilla beans added. It comes in at 5% alcohol by volume, no IBUs listed in time of review, and this can is just under 4 months old. Now, this is the first beer from Off Color I am reviewing on the channel. However, it is not the first beer I've had from Off Color in general, because we used to get pretty good distribution from them about, I'd say 9 or 10 years ago. It was like 2014, 15-ish. And I had a handful of offerings from them. My favorite is their Dino S'mores, which was basically an imperial s'mores stout. And back 10 years ago, you didn't see a lot of that. I always considered Off Color like the Midwestern version of Dogfish Head. Maybe that's not a great comparison, but they did a lot of cool styles that weren't popular back in the mid-2010s. Like, I remember having like an alt beer from them that had like molasses and honey, and they just did some really cool beers. So I've always enjoyed their stuff. We don't get as much distro from them nowadays. So when I saw this one, I was like, yeah, I'm a sucker for cream ales. They're basically going for like a peaches and cream ale, and I'm here for it. They actually have the ingredients on the side of the can. It says malt, 2-row, flaked barley, caramel malt, dextrin malt, and flaked oats, hops, nugget, lotus, and Grüngeist. Secret ingredients, peach puree and vanilla beans. So Grüngeist, I thought that was like a German hop, and I was like, oh, it's kind of weird being in a cream ale. Turns out it's American hop. And it kind of has notes of like peach and like passion fruit. So I can see kind of why they put it in this beer. So I'm using the Dogfish Head glass because why not? Like I just said, they kind of remind me of Dogfish Head to some degree. And this beer that's not even a hard pour, and we are gonna do the Bounty. I don't know, I feel like I'm getting worse with pouring, or the cans are getting worse. All I know is I didn't pour that all that aggressively, and look at the head on it. That's fucking gnarly how crazy that head is. Like, it's pretty insane. Try to get a little bit more in here. Something like that. A little bit of a cheat. So I'm hoping that this is, somewhat of a novelty beer, but also good, because that's the whole point of drinking beer. A peaches and cream ale sounds awesome to me, but also at the same time, I don't want it to be like too over the top. So that has this crazy like burnt orange color on camera. I know 100% it's going to come off more dull, but in person, it looks like sunshine in a glass. It has, cream ales usually have a good clarity. This, you can see my shadow, but can't exactly make my hand on it. It has like a haze to it. About a 3-finger of this really fluffy off-white colored head. It looks kind of like whipped cream. It's not really going anywhere, which is kind of a concern to some degree. Hopefully I can get a nice aroma, but it looks really nice as far as a beer goes. As a cream ale, maybe not spot on. Let's get a nose. But they're using peach puree and vanilla beans and everything. So it has like a tart peach kind of nose, like a tart stone fruit peach, apricot, maybe nectarine. A touch of vanilla, very faint vanilla. But it kind of has just like a cream ale base. It has this grainy kind of almost, there is no corn in here, but it does have oats and flaked barley and whatnot. But it kind of has that grainy, kind of almost corny tinge to it. It's a little bit of like a citrus character that's more of like a lemon, orchard fruits. Very similar to like when I start talking about lagers, because cream ales are very similar. But it has a tart peach and a tart vanilla. Or sorry, tart peach and like a slight vanilla. Hopefully it doesn't have a tart vanilla. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it smells okay. Does it smell like a peaches and cream ale or a peach cream ale or anything? Maybe a little bit. Hopefully the taste is a little bit more boisterous. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. The peach is there. Definitely a tart peach. 100%. It's nice. Nice beer. It's like somebody took a cream ale, put a little bit of peach into it that's more of like the tartar, like under-ripened peach, with a very faint hit of vanilla on like the back of the palate. This is not a full-on peaches and cream ale. It's a cream ale that has nuances of peach and vanilla. Body is lower side of medium body, so not thin and watery, but also appropriate for 5%. The mouthfeel, Very crisp, has a nice moderate carbonation, but it's also pretty smooth on the palate, a little bit of creaminess as well. The taste is very simplistic, front to back. There's this grainy, kind of slightly bready kind of malt base, maybe more biscuity than anything. It doesn't have like that corny kind of like cream ale you'd get from like Genesee cream ale. It's more of like, you can tell this is all malt for the most part. As it passes through though, that tart peach kind of hits, and it's really nice. It kind of makes this beer super refreshing. Maybe underlying like lemon, touch of orange, citrus characters. And then the back of the palate, a faint kiss of vanilla, very faint. If I was doing this blind, would I know that's vanilla? Probably. I was gonna say maybe not, probably not. Because I'm not getting a big kick of vanilla. It's very subtle. Finish is semi to full on dry, almost no bitterness to speak of, but it does have a little bit of acidity, and that tartness combined with the dryness and that acidity really is kind of balancing this one out, because it does have a nice sweet malt character, so it kind of balances out at the end. It's a nice beer. Am I losing my shit over this one? No, not at all. Like I find it pretty good. I would like a little bit more peach, and I'd like maybe the peach to be a little bit more ripened. I would like, for instance, the vanilla to be a little bit more, a little bit more prominent on the finish. But as is, like, this is a super crusher of a beer. And I forgot to mention the name of this beer. They named it for the sport of basketball, and the fact that they used to use peach baskets for hoops as opposed to what they have nowadays. So kind of, paying homage to the sport itself. Yeah, it's nice. Not mind-blowing. Would I buy this again? I don't know. Price point, I wouldn't, because we'll talk about that momentarily. As far as a beer, it's fine. I'd happily drink this one again, but I'm not kind of like losing my shit over it or anything. It's just a well-made, and I hesitate there because it is well-made. It's just, I think the peach and the vanilla I thought was going to be a little bit more prominent. I don't want to be over top. I don't want to, be tasting like a peaches and cream ale to the point where it's like all it is peaches and cream and there's no cream ale. But I thought there'd be a little bit more substance to the adjuncts, and there's really not. So I'm going to pour the rest into the can here, or into the glass, and then we're going to give it a score. So I'm going to give Off Color's a beer for hoops. I'll give this a low 3.75. I'll go 3.65. I think that's fair for this one. I'm not loving it, but I do like it. I think it's a solid peach cream ale, we'll say. I will say this is great for like the spring and summertime. You could crush this. I don't think, it's even on the back here, it's a session fruited. Yeah, like this is a session fruited beer. And it's very akin to, recently I reviewed like Saranac's Blueberry Blonde. It's kind of like that, but like, as it's a peach low ABV crusher beer as opposed to a blueberry one, kind of in that same. I give that a 3.75. This is a 3.65. It's kind of in that realm. I think it's fine. Price point availability. This is why I wouldn't buy it again here. It was $4.99 can. I want to say 4 packs were kind of like in that $16 range. You always pay a little bit more here in the Buffalo, New York area for singles. I would hope closer to the brewery, this is more like $12 to $14 a 4-pack. But I wouldn't buy that again for, $4 a can, even probably. Like I said, I don't know if I'd buy that again. Maybe if I was in the mood for it, I would. But I just don't think, for me, it really speaks to me. And then the availability, I have no idea with Off Color. Like I said, we used to get a bunch of their stuff here in Buffalo that kind of dried up, and we get drips and drabs here and there. And this is the first Off Color beer that I saw, and I was like, oh, I'm going to buy it because it kind of, the name, I was like, beer for hoops, what is this? And then, peaches and cream, sure, but not really. So if you've had this beer before, post in the comment section, let me know what you think about it. Like I said, not a bad beer in the least. It's just, I think I was hoping for a little bit more as a whole. Another beer it reminds me of is the Pineapple Upside Down Cake IPA from Ellicottville, where that was a hazy IPA brewed with pineapple and cherry puree. And it just had nuances of those fruits. And if you're calling yourself a pineapple upside down cake IPA, I kind of want more of an intensity to the adjuncts. And that's kind of what I want here. I don't want full-on onslaught of peaches and vanilla, but I do want something that's more substantial in my glass than what I'm drinking right now. So again, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. I'm like, my brain is ahead of my mouth right now. I'm like, I want to just wrap this up, and I'm speaking so fast that like I cannot catch up. What I wanted to say is, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section, 5-point Did I say comics? Might have said comics. Comment section. 5% alcohol by volume. You can't really tell. Solid beer. I enjoy it. So I know a lot of Chicago folk watch the channel. So if you've had Off Color beers, what's your favorite from them? And have you had this one before? Anyway, appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers.